Let's hang on to what we got. Don't let go, girl. We got a lot of love between us. Hang on, hang on, hang on to what we've got. You say you're gonna go and call it quits, gonna chuck it all and break my love to bits, breaking up.
I wish you never said it. No, no, we'll both regret it.
That little chip of diamond on your head means a fortune, baby, but you know it stands for your love.
A love to try and buy.
For your love.
We just can't live behind it, baby.
For your love.
Baby,
For your love.
baby,
Make it
oh,
over
I
and
say,
let's hang on to what we got. Don't let go, girl. We got a lot of love between us. Hang on, hang on, hang on to what we've got. Do-do, do-do, do-do. Oh, what a night. Late December back in '63. What a very special time for me. I remember what a night. Yeah. Oh, what a night. You know I didn't even know your name. I was never gonna be the same. I remember what a night. Hey. Oh, yeah, I got a funny feeling when she walked in the room, and I recall it ending too soon. Oh, do-do-do-do-do, Do you remember the 21st night of September? Love was changing the minds of pretenders while chasing the clouds away. Our hearts were ringing in the key that our souls were singing as we danced in the night. Remember how the stars sold the night away. Say, do you remember? Dancing in September. Never was a cloudy day. Badu, 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 badu.
Welcome to Rowan University's 2018 commencement ceremonies. The processional is ready to begin. Please silence all cell phones and please remain seated during the processional so everyone can see. Thank you.
Music is a world within itself, with a language we all understand, with an equal opportunity for all to sing and dance, clap their hands. Well, just because a record has a groove, don't make it in the groove. But you can tell right away a letter A when the people start to move. They can feel it all over. They can feel it all over people. They can feel it all over. They can feel it all over people. Music knows it is and always will be one of the things that life just won't quit. Nemo and the king of all Sadu. And with a voice like endless ringing out, no way the band can know. They can feel it all over. They can feel it all over people. They can feel it all over. They can feel it all Looking back on when I was a little nappy-headed boy, and then my only worry was for Christmas what would be my toy. Even though we sometimes would not get a thing, and we were happy with the joy that they would bring. Sneaking out the back door to hang out with those hoodlum friends of mine. Greeted at the back door with the thought I told you not to go outside. Trying your best to bring the water to your eyes. You can get inside, but when you're behind, I wish those days would come back and smoke. I wish those days, where have you go? I wish those days would come back and smoke. I wish those days, where have you go? 'Cause I love it so. Brother says he's telling about you playing doctor with that girl. I just don't tell him I'll give you anything you want in this whole wide world. Mama gives you money for Sunday school. You trade yours for candy after church is through. Smoking cigarettes and writing something nasty on the wall.
You nasty boy.
Teacher sends you to the principal's office down the hall. You grow up and learn that kind of thing in life, but while you were doing it,
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for our national anthem.
oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so brightly we hailed at the twilight
Please be seated. Now, Dr. Anthony Lohman, Henry M. Rowan College of Engineering Dean.
So good morning. It's my pleasure to welcome you to the commencement ceremony, the 19th commencement ceremony for the 2018 graduating class for the Henry M. Rowan College of Engineering. To start, I want to welcome family and friends. You have a spectacular group of sons, daughters, friends, nephews, nieces graduating here today, and we're extremely proud of them, and as you should be as well. Welcome to our faculty and staff for attending today, and I'd like to welcome some special guests. First, our provost and also chemical engineering professor, Dr. James Newell. From the Rowan University Board of Trustees, Ms. Lita Abell, Dr. Barbara Chamberlain, and Ms. Virginia Rowan Smith. We have a number of distinguished guests. Mr. Anthony Marino, our Medal of Excellence recipient. Ms. Alice Parker from the Foundation Board. Our Grand Marshal, Dr. Eric Constance. And our Gonfalonier, Dr. John Schmalzel. And of course, welcome to members of the Cabinet, Deans, College Advisory Boards, and other senior members of the administration. So, students, I'm thinking back to now looking at a lot of these faces that I saw as freshmen here on campus and just admiring how you've grown in your achievements to date. And of course now it gets me off my script because I'm just looking at you, I can't stick to that. But I do have to get to some of the things in the script. And we do have to thank some other people here today. And students, you didn't get here alone. You got here with the help of each other. But you have tremendous support from your family and friends who supported you through this, who got you here, who raised you, your friends. So let's thank your family and friends who got you here today. And then, of course, your Rowan family. Besides each other, I've watched you in our buildings, working together all hours of day and night, it seems, weekends, whenever I come into the building, some of you are there somewhere. But also, your family here, our faculty and staff. Let's give a round of applause to them who really done an outstanding job getting you. Because it's such an achievement. I'm thinking this is the 6th graduation ceremony since I've been here, and every class has been special for different reasons. Your class is special. You're the largest graduating class. 307 of our undergraduates today. That's amazing. The first class I was here was just over 125 students. So what growth, and it's amazing what an excellent class we have. But I think about how special your class is in context to the other one. Every class there's something unique, and I was trying to think about this class, and I thought this class has such an entrepreneurial spirit within it. You were the construction class. You went through the construction of the new building. You went through the inconveniences of closing buildings at times, of moving things around, and somehow you found your way to get it done. Not just in the class, but in the lab spaces. I think of the teams building the rockets, the satellites, the automotive engineering groups, how you've moved through lab to lab, and you've gotten it done. And not only that, did you get it done, you got it done exceptionally well. I think of what this class has done. You've really pushed the envelope I thought there's so many awards this group has won. We actually hired a PR coordinator in the College of Engineering because of the awards that this group is winning. So you should be applauded for that. But I think in less than a month, a NASA rocket will be launched from Wallops Island carrying a satellite built by a team of you. An amazing accomplishment. In June, a group of you will go launch your own rocket in a competition. Many of you have worked on advanced materials for application in Department of Defense or private industry. A number of you, our first class of biomedical engineers, have worked on problems with practicing clinicians and actually helped us achieve something we thought would take many years. You've built bridges with biomedical engineering and practicing clinicians, working on life-saving problems, building surgical robots, looking for cures for cancer, building medical devices, drug delivery systems, just an incredible accomplishment. Many of you have been flying drones for different types of application, for work with first responders, for surveying landfill roads, or helping develop resilient coastline systems. And of course, our group, we talked about the resilient kids in the automotive engineering program. I can't keep up with the number of competitions that our automotive engineering students have gone to and won prestigious awards. So what a great group. Certainly, when Mr. Rowan made his comment about us needing great engineers, this is the group that he had in mind. And another first of this class is today we're celebrating the first PhDs to be awarded from the Henry M. College of Engineering. And this program is special. This program could not have started without the support of Henry Rowan. And I had the pleasure of getting to spend some time with him when I arrived as dean. And I got to present him this proposal developed by this great faculty. And I think he was a little unsure because his core mission was always producing top-notch undergraduate engineers, which we have done for many years. And he agreed to support the program if we promised to maintain our commitment to undergraduate excellence. And not only do we have to achieve that, which we have, we also had to be committed to producing excellent research and excellent graduates programs. And I think today, it's important to note, while we're producing our first two doctoral recipients today, our undergraduate ranking has risen all the way into the top 20, and we now sit as the number 19 undergraduate engineering program in the country. And that has a lot to do with you. So while it's sad that Mr. Rowan couldn't be here today to see this first group that he put his support behind, I'm happy to introduce Virginia Rowan Smith, his daughter and member of our board, who really has been a passionate supporter of our program. And I cannot say how wonderful it is to have her support, her vigilance of our programs, and I can assure you students as you leave with her behind us, with her watching us, we will never get away from that core mission, and she will always be here to support us. So with that.
With that introduction, good morning, members of the Henry M. Rowan College of Engineering class of 2018. Wow. And a warm welcome to all of your family and your friends who are here as well. As Tony just told you, my name is Virginia Rowan Smith. I'm a member of the Rowan University Board of Trustees, and it's my honor today to congratulate you at your commencement. As many of you know, the College of Engineering has a special place in my heart because my parents back in 1992 made the decision to support the college, not just the college, the Glassboro State College, but a College of Engineering. My dad's passion for engineering education and its importance in the world, in the United States, New Jersey, and in southern New Jersey was part of that, but the other part was that Glassboro did not have an engineering school. And he was excited about the fact that he was inspired to give this gift because it allowed him to help develop a program that would revolutionize engineering education. And as Tony alluded to a minute ago, he used to say kind of gruffly, this country doesn't need more engineers, it needs more great engineers. And that's what he was alluding to when he talked about you. Back in 2013, when Rowan University received its designation as a research university and the idea of PhD engineering was being discussed, Dad was a little concerned because he was very much convinced that this should be a place of unique world-class engineering, undergraduate engineering education, and he didn't want that to be lost. The college presented a plan, a proposal, as Tony called it, expanding the college's mission to include advanced research, graduate programs, in order to enhance resources and opportunities to produce great engineers, great undergraduate engineers as well. This plan was endorsed by Mr. Rowan and by the board, and then the family made another gift towards the college, hoping that this would help it to thrive in their new mission, but not lose sight of this core mission of excellence in undergraduate education. So in 5 years, just 5 years, the college has produced groundbreaking research at an incredible pace. Research grants have increased tenfold in just 5 years, and we've begun to train doctoral students. At the same time, our offerings have gotten broader and broader. You are the class who has been here with the introduction and growth of this fine biomedical engineering program. And all through of this, they continue to emphasize undergraduate education and excellence therein. Tony said that we are now in the top 20 undergraduate engineering programs in the country. You should be very proud of that. To come from 1992, when there was no engineering college, to be number 20 in the US is absolutely amazing. And it would be a thrill for my father to know that. Today, we are honoring our first class of biomedical engineering graduates, 35 of you with the recognition of being 35 to receive a degree in this discipline here at Rowan. Additionally, 3 of you will receive your Doctor of Philosophy degree. You are the first graduates of this college to receive these distinctions, and we are sure you will go forward and represent this college proudly in your profession, just as the more than 2,000 engineering graduates of this college have done to date. So to all of the graduates of the class of 2018, when Henry Rowan spoke about great engineers, he was talking about you. And I want to extend to you my congratulations on this special day and wish you the best. I understand that you all have jobs, and that's phenomenal. Good for you, and congratulations.
So since 2015, Rowan University has awarded Medals of Excellence that honor worthy individuals in one of 3 categories: Distinguished Service, Research and Alumni Achievement, excuse me. As Dean of Rowan University, I'm extraordinarily proud when our students leave the campus, achieve great things, and come back to see us. Today, I have the honor to recognize one of our outstanding alumni recipients today. Anthony Marino received his Bachelor of Science in Electrical and Computer Engineering from Rowan University in 2002 and his Master's of Science in Engineering in 2003. He serves as a systems engineer manager for Lockheed Martin and is responsible for providing leadership, strategy, skills, and processes for the Display Applications Group, ensuring successful execution of system engineering scope on multiple U.S. Navy international programs. Over the course of his 13-year career with Lockheed Martin, Anthony has served in various technical lead assignments, notably as the command and control product lead for the deployment and maintenance of the Japanese Aegis ballistic missile defense programs. At Lockheed and as a Rowan alumnus, Anthony has coordinated employee recruitment and outreach programs, established internship programs, and has been critical, in fact, probably the most critical person in establishing the first Rowan Engineering Co-op program that begins next year at Lockheed Martin. He's given back. Sorry. He's given back quite a bit as well to the university and college. He's been a very, very passionate advocate for Rowan. He's a member of our Rowan University's Alumni Board of Directors, and he's the co-chair of the awards committee. He's the chair of our College of Engineering Alumni Advisory Council, and he's a member of the Rowan University Electrical and Computer Engineering Industrial Advisory Board. As part of these roles, he's been very, very passionate and very, very hands-on in helping establish mechanisms for reviewing resumes, working with our soon-to-be graduates, helping find jobs, and helping prepare interviews. And in fact, I know there's quite a few out there who've probably interviewed with him at some point of your career. So this is really only a snapshot of his contributions. I really couldn't get into all. Now I'm getting a little choked up about to introduce him, and I was going to actually talk about how he gets choked up at all these events. But he's been a true friend. He's been an outstanding engineer in his profession, and he's been a big, big supporter of the college program. So with that, in recognition of his extraordinary accomplishments, I am proud to present Anthony Marino with the Henry M. Rowan College of Engineering Medal of Excellence in Alumni Achievement.
Well, thank you, Dean Lohman. Quite an honor, and it's a nice piece of swag to add to my Rowan collection. It beats the numerous T-shirts and coffee mugs that you've bestowed upon me already. So, and I guess if we're being honest, I guess the next piece of swag on my list, and I don't know if President Hushman's out there somewhere, if I can get a replica of that Prof lapel pin, that's next on the list. But again, thank you. Thank you, everyone that came here today. And good morning, class of 2018. Congratulations. If I could just start off with a quick anecdotal story, just in case any of you were questioning the value of your soon-to-be Rowan engineering degree. You know, many of us are probably Rowan proud already, but there's some on the outside that still look at Rowan, look down on us. Maybe we're not the same type of quality as some of those national institutions, but again, I'm quite sure, and I know for sure, that we can compete with any of those institutions, and this quick little story will kind of highlight that. I was recently in a working session. I'm part of a 4-person team right now, leading up a proposal that we're working on at Lockheed, and it'll have probably a total program value of near $500 million, right? So it's a significant piece of work for our business. And one day, soon after Villanova just won their national championship, one of the engineers that's working with me as a co-leader on this proposal, right, was being incessantly annoying, celebrating Villanova's championship. Right, and so somehow that turned into a game of going around the room. Hey, what school did you go to? What school did you go to? And the 4 of us in the room, so obviously one is obviously Villanova, Rutgers, and the College of New Jersey, respectively. And when it came to my turn, not only did I proudly say Rowan, but I also had to add a little dig to the Villanova guy. How much did you pay for that Villanova degree? Yes. Only to be co-leading this effort, sitting at the same table with me today. Seems like I got the better deal on that one. So again, Rowan grads, trust in me when I say that we can compete with anybody. Now, there's no easy segue into the rest of my comments, so again, I'd like to congratulate all of you, and I thank you for allowing me to share this moment with you today. It's truly an honor and it's humbling. And as Tony mentioned, I do time to time get choked up when I give some remarks about Rowan, so again, bear with me if I do get choked up along the way. So as Tony mentioned, I've seen many of your resumes along the way as part of our resume review service, as part of interviewing you. And I have to admit, I am blown away at the level of talent that is resident within all of you. I've even shared this view with some of my other fellow alumni, and truly we are amazed that you found the time to do it all. And I'm referring to your involvement in student orgs, pursuing dual degrees, honors concentrations, conferences, and the list goes on of many other activities. So again, congratulations, you guys are well-footed to go forth here. And just for some perspective, I had 0 extracurricular involvement during my undergrad years, all right? And I mean, absolutely none. I was a commuter, left home, came to class, went back home, did it all over again. There was no conferences and all those other things that you guys are pursuing. So again, I'm truly envious of all of you. And I barely got out of my undergrad with a 3.0. And if we're being honest today, if it wasn't for my senior year jazz appreciation class, I don't even know if I would have got out of here with a 3.0. So truly, I was the definition of average back then. And so it's not lost on me today, this contrast of standing before you. And obviously, some of my regalia today even serves as that average reminder as I look out across the crowd here. Many of you have additional accents, additional sashes, honors cords. I didn't have any of that. I think they refer to what I wore back then was the basic package. So again, to stand here today and tell you how proud I am of your accomplishments is a stark contrast to how I felt 16 years ago. But that perspective started to change when I realized that my GPA didn't define me. And that change started when Dr. Schmazel offered me the opportunity to pursue my master's degree. Dr. Schmazel, wherever you are, thank you, sir. When Lockheed Martin finally wised up and hired me. When my first manager at Lockheed Martin gave me an out-of-cycle raise. When I was given a responsibility to run a multi-million-dollar project. And of course, when I was given this Medal of Excellence award today. And it is this great college of engineering that bears credit for being the first to recognize that I had more than average to give. This is why I am Rowan proud, and I hope all of you are Rowan proud. So while today is undoubtedly a moment that you will soon not forget, I challenge you, please take this time, like I am about to now, to help create moments for others. Now this is probably 16 years overdue. Some of these folks are sitting behind me right now. 16 years ago, they were out in front of me, providing guidance I probably did not appreciate in the moment. I would like to thank some of them now. Dr. Schmazel, Dr. Kruchnovic, Dr. Head, Dr. Polakar, Dr. Mandiam, Dr. Ramachandran, Dr. Petruka, and I'll even throw in a mechanical engineer for you, Dr. Kadlewick. And I'm sure I'm missing others, and I apologize for that, but please know I appreciate all of you. So you could have easily let this average student get lost among the high performers in my class, but thank you for believing in me. And here comes the choke up. I hope you share in my pride today. You've left your mark. Thank you. I'd also like to thank a few other Rowan family members who recently have provided me every opportunity to stay engaged with my alma mater and allow me to push a lot of these alumni engagement ideas. I believe some of them are here today. Chris D'Angelo from the Alumni Engagement Office and the extended alumni engagement staff, Jessica Kennedy, Rob Lightfoot. From the Office of Career Advancement, Bob Bullard and Sean Fisher. So to those folks, thank you. I know I provide an incessant amount of emails to you, providing some of my ideas, and I'm sure every time you see one of those emails come in, it's like, what does Anthony want now? But again, thank you for bearing with me and allowing me to stay engaged with this great university. And of course, to those who truly make this possible, my family, much time is spent here on campus, so obviously there needs to be a strong home team that allows me to go out and do all this stuff for you. My wife, Dana, and my son, Rocco, who are in the crowd. My wife has been by my side since day one of this Rowan journey, and I truly mean day one, from my freshman year here at Rowan. And bless her for all that she endures to allow me to serve you. Thank you. So graduates, again, I hope that you will all take this time today to thank those who have created memories for you that will forever color your memories. In your moment of elevation, please give back a moment of pride to your family, loved ones, friends, and the staff here today. It has been an honor and will continue to be my honor to serve this college and this great university. I do it for you. I hope you realize that. And I hope in some small way the time I give back to you will help ensure some of your success. As you will soon join this great community of Rowan alumni, I hope that you also share my sense of Rowan pride. As alumni, I see it as our responsibility to continue to be ambassadors for this college and the university at large. And in fact, I believe upon the conferral of your degrees, it's stated, your degree comes with it some rights and privileges and obligations. As alumni, one of those obligations should be to nurture the success of future classes that will come after you. Together, we will continue to paint the legacy of this great institution. And with each graduating class, our Rowan degrees becomes that much more valuable. So it's incumbent upon us to give back to increase that value. We can easily help by providing our experiences back to the students. As a member of the third class of this program, there was no alumni network to pull from. Perhaps that is part of the reason why I'm so committed to give back, to provide you the resources that we didn't have then. And I'll tell you, within these 16 years since I've left, we've created a strong contingent of Rowan proud engineers. And I gladly welcome you today to our alumni community. So class of 2018, know that from here, I am here for you. If you ever need me along your journey, do not hesitate to reach out. Again, I am here for you. From today and forward, please let us continue to live by Henry M. Rowan's creed. Let's make a difference. We shall make this world a little better because we lived in it together. Class of 2018, thank you again and congratulations.
Thank you, Anthony. I think we can all agree that you're anything but average. Thank you for. So this week we are graduating 46 students who have served our countries as members of the military or the National Guard. Many of them have served overseas. We recognize the challenges and hardships of going overseas and then transitioning back home to Rowan to complete their education. Will those students who have served in the military or National Guard please stand up to be recognized? Thank you for your service and your outstanding performance today. At this time, it gives me great pleasure to recognize the graduates who have excelled in their academic studies while here at Rowan. These students are graduating today with honors and fall into 3 levels of achievement. Students graduating cum laude have achieved a grade point average of 3.45 to 3.64. Will those students who are graduating cum laude please stand to be recognized? Thank you. You may be seated. Students graduating magna cum laude have achieved grade point averages of 3.65 to 3.84. Will those students please stand to be recognized? Thank you. You may be seated. And students graduating summa cum laude, the highest honor, have achieved grade point averages of 3.85 to 4.0. Will those students please stand to be recognized? And the students who have graduated with a perfect 4.0, can you please remain standing? So I'd like to ask Dr. Stephen Chin to please come to the podium to read the student honors.
Hello, my name is Dr. Stephen Chin, and I'm the Vice Dean of the Henry M. Rowan College of Engineering. At this time, I would like to recognize the Honors Concentration graduates and our Honor Society members. They are listed in the program and have been recognized at previous ceremonies. Will all these graduates please stand? Thank you, and congratulations on your achievements. You may now be seated. It is my pleasure to recognize the winners of the Medallion Awards. These are students who have distinguished themselves through their excellent academic performance, character, and service to their college and department. Students, when your name is called, please stand to be recognized. The Da Vinci Medallion for Excellence in Biomedical Engineering, Kelsey DeFreitas and Biagio Uricoli. Could you please both stand? Thank you. The Clarence Slater Award for Excellence in Chemical Engineering, Alexander M. Johnson. Please stand. Thank you. The Ralph A. Dussault Award for Civil and Environmental Engineering, Patricia L. Hurley. Thank you. The C. Ernest O'Neill Award for Electrical and Computer Engineering, Christopher Green. Thank you. And the Tirupati Chandrapatla Award for Excellence in Mechanical Engineering, Brandon T. Graham and Alexander J. Wildgoose. Could you please both stand? Thank you.
So at today's commencement, I wanted to present one faculty award. So with our great successes as a college, our students, you, our graduates, you are in such high demand. But also other people are paying attention to our college, and as such, our faculty are also in high demand by our peers. So today, it's sad to announce that this will be the last commencement with Dr. Eric Constance on our faculty as he leaves to join the faculty at Rose-Hulman. But he has been a tremendous faculty member and tremendous member of the university community in his 19 years here in the mechanical engineering department. He served as chair from 2008 to 2014 and certainly was very instrumental in helping me get in my feet as a dean and learning the way about this college. He's written a textbook on mechanical design. He's worked with, I can't imagine how many students in the lab, in the Baja car, building many, many of the things we've used in our curriculum. So while we're sad to see him go, he's moving on to the next chapter of his career. And we wish him best of luck, and we'd like to give him a plaque to remember us and put on the wall of his office so he will never forget his friends here at Rowan. So.
Thank you so much.
Eric, congratulations.
Back to the student awards. So, in the Henry M. Rowan College of Engineering, the Irene Elizabeth Tracy Award for Excellence in Engineering and the honor to speak at commencement are aspirations for some of our students. And I'm proud to introduce today's recipient and speaker. Jake, why don't you come on up and I'll do the announcement right there. So I have the formal script of how I was going to introduce Jake, and I have the script he thinks I might use, because as you know him in the ECE department, I know him very well from working in the dean's office with us. No, I won't. So Jake is a graduating senior with a degree in electrical and computer engineering, and a graduate also of the Honors College. After graduation, Jake is going to go work for Lockheed Martin in Moorestown as a system integration and test engineer on the Aegis Combat Systems. Aside from work in engineering, Jake works part-time as a New Jersey state certified EMT, and he'll remain involved at Rowan University as, I think you know you've committed to this, right? If he doesn't, he's already committed. He will be serving on the Engineering Alumni Advisory Council. So, congratulations. So, as his hobby, Jake hopes to become an FAA certified private pilot to pursue his interests in aviation. So, I want to congratulate Jake for receiving this award. I want to congratulate him for his job at Lockheed Martin, because I have to say this is the first time, and I hope the only time, that one of our graduates can sleep through a job interview, yet still land the job. So congratulations to Jake for receiving the 2018 Irene Elizabeth Tracy Award for Excellence in Engineering.
You want to take a photo?
Yes, we have. Oh, we already gave last.
Well, thank you for the very warm remarks, Dr. Lohman. It's nice being known as the student that slept through his job interview. Good legacy. But I want to first start by saying that writing this graduation speech has been a unique experience. It's actually been pretty horrifying, but unique sounded better in the script. But I've been given about 10 minutes to present a speech that can accurately summarize all of the experiences we've had throughout our time at Rowan University. So that being said, I wanted to write a speech that was funny, engaging, and deeply moving. But since I'm incapable of most of those things, I did the next best thing and lowered the bar to an average speech. When reflecting back on our last 4 years, I've tried to think about the greatest life lessons we've learned. But everything I thought of didn't really seem significant or genuine enough. Then, I came across an important quote by Mr. Henry M. Rowan that seemed like the most appropriate way to start. And Anthony already stole my thunder a little bit, but I'll say it again. Mr. Rowan said that we should make a difference. Make this world a little better because you lived in it. For the past 4 years, our world has been Rowan University, a college setting centered around ramen noodles, a lack of sleep, and way too many Rowan announcers. Approximately 1,728 announcers to be specific. But as we graduate today, our world becomes much larger, and this message becomes more important. I want you to think back and remember the difference you've made here at Rowan, and begin to think forward about the impact that you're now prepared to make on this world. Over the past year, I've been giving tours on behalf of the College of Engineering. As I walk prospective students around our new building, I draw upon my own experiences to try and convince them that Rowan is the right choice. One of the questions I'm most often asked is with regards to workload. More specifically, will I ever get to sleep as an engineer? While the answer may sometimes be no, and sorry, Dr. Polakar, I know you told us to be on top of our assignments, but if I'm being honest, we've all pulled all-nighters we're not proud of. Regardless, I have found that engineers have plenty of free time spread throughout our demanding curriculum. I joke with these students that simply going to class and coming home to play Fortnite is not always your best decision. Of course, we enjoyed our free time, but we also took on major responsibilities, whether that was through club leadership, a job, sports, or some other extracurricular activity. Although it meant a loss of free time, it was the activities we did outside of the classroom that helped us to become well-rounded individuals. It provided us with leadership opportunities, the chance to work across disciplines, and ultimately to stand out to graduate schools and employers. When I first started college, I was bombarded with the phrase, "college is what you make of it," by my parents and professors. I now realize that college is indeed what you make of it. There are so many opportunities here, you just need to take advantage of them. And we all did in some way or another. As we've grown over the past 4 years, so too has this university. The new engineering building where some of us perform groundbreaking research used to be a gravel parking lot. Much of Rowan Boulevard, where many of us live now, was just a pile of dirt and rocks. Whoa, sorry, civil engineers, how insensitive of me. I meant to say soil and aggregate matter, not to be confused with dirt and rocks. Whew. My fault. Not only have our accomplishments contributed to the legacy of the class of 2018, but even, I would venture to say, to Rowan University's reputation. To put it into perspective, I was recently giving a tour to a father and his daughter who are from Minnesota. Okay, guys, first off, the fact that they're from Minnesota visiting New Jersey State School sort of surprised me. The father went on to tell me that he was a graduate of MIT and worked as a heart surgeon. We all know the reach and strength of MIT, so I was even more surprised and proud to learn that Rowan University was on the list of schools to visit. But if you think about it, it's not so surprising after all. The Rowan we started out as freshmen is not the same Rowan we're graduating from. This university continues to evolve thanks to students like you who proudly represented its name in the remarkable things you've done and will go on to do. An interesting exercise is comparing yourself freshman year to yourself now. We all started on the same page, taking Gen Ed classes, being scared to talk to upperclassmen, trying to figure out what we wanted to get involved in, and wondering how Dr. Schmazel's hair always looked so good. Okay, sorry guys, perhaps the last one was just me, but look at yourself now. We all took different paths, maybe got involved in club leadership, or built a concrete canoe, or maybe even blew some stuff up with chemicals. But in the end, no matter what path we took, we have all been transformed. We are all now engineers. Pretty cool, huh? For those of you that know me, you know that I'm a strong believer in accomplishing tasks one at a time. I find that oftentimes looking at the bigger picture can be too stressful. But now I ask you to look at the bigger picture that you've painted over the past 4 years here. Think about the mistakes you may have made, like sleeping through a job interview, but be sure to focus on the success and accomplishments you've attained. I find that oftentimes as students, we get stuck only thinking about the impact that our life experiences have made on us. But don't forget about the impact that you've made here at Rowan. Your accomplishments will continue to impact the future generations of Rowan engineers as a legacy from the class of 2018. Tori Griffiths spent almost 2 years trying to convince the Student Government Association to sanction a new club she wanted to start called Women in Engineering, or WE for short, please. WE is now running at full speed, helping women and all of its members transition into engineering and learn important skills not oftentimes taught in the classroom. Tyler Harlow had the dream of launching a 100-pound rocket to 10,000 feet in the air. Just 4 years later, Tyler now leads 24 students in building a rocket that competes against 100 other schools, including names such as Embry-Riddle and Stanford. Brandon Graham thought that strapping 2 giant propellers on a metal frame, sitting a person on top, and calling it a hover bike was a good idea. And despite doubts among his peers, Brandon and his team have successfully designed portions of a functioning aircraft, and he's wearing a hover bike on his cap, which is pretty awesome. Ray Linden made a difference in over 300 students' lives when he planned, organized, and executed the 2017 IEEE Region 2 Student Activities Conference, hosted and ran entirely by Rowan Engineering students. Kit Tran and his clinic team created a device that can deliver a highly viscous hydrogel to patients who have a degenerative disc disease. Now, I really have no idea what most of those words mean, but our BME class sure does, and they are performing significant medical research. Speaking of the BME class, this year, the first ever biomedical engineering class will graduate, and the student sitting in front of me took a risk to test out a new program. This BME class has helped Rowan Engineering develop a thriving program that prepares these students to develop the next generation of medical technology. A large team of students from every engineering discipline worked for the last 2 years to design a satellite to launch up into space on a NASA mission. Students sitting in front of me today, among many others, made that possible. And just a few short weeks from now, that satellite you spent hundreds of hours on will be launched up into space, performing groundbreaking research. The students I have mentioned represent a small subset of the astounding feats this graduating class has accomplished. While these accomplishments are impressive, and you should justly be proud of them, don't forget about how hard it was to get where we are today. Don't forget about the journey that led you into the world of engineering. Whether it was a teacher in middle school, a robotics competition you competed in, or a bottle rocket you launched in the 7th grade, we all got here somehow. For some of us, our education stops here, at least for now. But never stop making an effort to show the upcoming generations what engineering is all about. Get involved in STEM outreach and ensure the success of those who may not yet had an experience in engineering. As we meet our last formal deadline of graduating, we now look off into the future. The students in the class of 2018 will leave here and take different paths. Some of those paths will lead to industry leaders, including Lockheed Martin, AT&T, Johnson Matthey, Johns Hopkins Applied Physics Laboratory, Innovative Defense Technologies, Amazon, NAVSEA, Cummins, Edmund Optics, NAVAIR, and the New Jersey Department of Transportation. And not to mention those students furthering their education at schools such as University of California, Berkeley, Georgia Tech, University of Delaware, Pennsylvania State University, Drexel University, and Rutgers University, just to name a few. As you move off into the future, never forget about the positive mark you've made on your now alma mater. Wherever you end up in your career, make the best of your experiences. As I noted before, for the last 4 years, Rowan was our world. But we can be proud because we have made this world a better place. Because we were here, we made a difference in this world. Now, it's our time to make a difference out there in the real world. There's not a single doubt in my mind that this class will make that world better too. Congratulations to the class of 2018. As they say, the best is yet to come.
Thanks, Jake, for those remarks. So I'd like to ask now all of our doctoral, master's, and bachelor's students to please stand. That should be all of you. And if you're not standing, move over to the side. We'll talk to you later. So as you know, this past Sunday, we held our campus-wide commencement event here at the football stadium to celebrate Rowan University's bachelor's, master's, doctoral, and medical degree candidates. During this event, President Hushman, Provost Newell, and Mr. Chad Bruner, chair of the Rowan University Board of of Trustees officially certified your doctoral, master's, and bachelor degrees as having completed all the requirements for graduation. With that, your degree was officially conferred this past Sunday. You now have a fully conferred degree for Doctor of Philosophy, Master of Engineering Management, Master of Science, and Bachelor of Science degrees with all the rights, privileges, responsibilities, and obligations of those degrees. So congratulations to all of you. You may be seated. So now it's time we get to recognize the degrees. This is what we're all here for today. We're going to present each graduate individually by program, beginning first with our PhD recipients, proceeding to students with their master's degrees, and ending with our bachelor's degrees. So for the presentations of the graduates, I'm going to turn the microphone over to DJ Stahlberger, one of our own undergraduates. But before he begins, I'm going to ask, please, all family members, try to remain in your seat so that you don't get in the way and obstruct view of all of our students. We will have a professional photographer who is going to take 3 photos of our students, one as they're crossing the stage, one before they immediately get on the stage, one as they're the second will be as they shake hands with me, receiving their degree, and the third when they leave. So you should have plenty of opportunities for good photos. All the students will receive proofs of these photos in a short time. And of course, you're welcome after the ceremony to come up and take as many photos as you like at the stage. So now we're ready to begin. So we're going to start with the graduates of the PhD in Engineering, led by Dr. Joseph Stanzione. Each of these graduates will be awarded a hood by his or her dissertation chair and their degree. The hood that they're receiving, and will be hooded with, is a symbol of the doctoral degree, which is the highest degree that we can receive in our field. So to read these names, I've asked Dr. Shriek Mondiam to please come to the podium, the Vice President of Research. If we could just find the graduates. That would be you. Where's Dr. Stanzione? I believe we just had a script malfunction. I apologize. So we'll just get started.
Good morning, and it is my pleasure to introduce the first graduates of the PhD program at the Henry M. Rowan College of Engineering. I'm Shriek Mondiam, the Vice President for Research, and what we're going to perform before you is the hooding ceremony for PhD graduates, which is a very sacred and ancient ceremony that admits the new doctors into an elite group of scholars. So I will start with Paul Pertica. Doctoral advisor is Dr. Peter Gailey, Department of Biomedical Engineering. His dissertation title is Patterning Neurovasculature within Protein-Based Transplantable Scaffolds for Central Nervous System Regeneration. Congratulations, Dr. Pertica. Our next PhD graduate is Thomas Cristiani, presented by his doctoral advisor, Dr. Jennifer Vernango, Department of Biomedical Engineering. Tom's dissertation title is Bioadhesive Hydrogel Composite Cell Carrier for the Repair of Degenerated Intervertebral Disc. Congratulations, Dr. Cristiani. Thank you.
So, okay, that was a little choppy, but that was our first time trying it, so we'll get it better next time. I would be remiss if we did not read the third recipient today, who unfortunately, due to his new position, was unable to attend. Dr. Mohammed Ridwan Murshed was advised by Dr. Shivakumar Raghunathan in the Department of Mechanical Engineering. His dissertation title was Heterogeneous Anisotropy Index and Scaling in Multi-Phase Random Polycrystals. And I want to note that Dr. Murshed was the first doctoral student to defend in the College of Engineering, and he should be recommended for such a tremendous honor. So we'll now proceed with the graduates of the master's program. Master in Engineering Management, Dr. Ralph Dussault, Graduate Coordinator.
We will now proceed with the graduates of the master's programs. Master in Engineering Management, Dr. Ralph Dussault, Graduate Coordinator. Dominic Puglisi. John DeJohn Vittorio. Jessica Naiwar. Thomas Pawal. Master of Science in Chemical Engineering, Dr. Joe Stanzione, Graduate Coordinator. Christian Wisniewski. Master of Science in Civil Engineering, Dr. Yusuf Mehta. Shaylin Brangman. Kamini Chandu. Master of Science in Electrical and Computer Engineering, Dr. Nidal Boyanaya. James Ritchie III. Joshua Velez. Sarah Zorn. Cardi Conte. Master of Science in Mechanical Engineering, Dr. Jennifer Kadlowick. Joseph Ianello. Mehdi Ben Masayoud. Aksit Patel. And now, graduates from our bachelor's degree programs. Construction Management, Dr. Stephen Chin, Vice Dean. Please step forward to present your department.
It is my pleasure to invite the recipients of the degree Bachelor of Arts in Construction Management to come to the platform to be recognized.
Jacob Jones. Kevin Riley. Thomas Nardi. Biomedical Engineering, Dr. Mark Byrne, Department Head, please step forward to present your department.
I don't want to lose momentum, but this is a historic day for us. Congratulations, the inaugural class of undergraduate biomedical engineers. On behalf of the biomedical engineering faculty, we are proud of you, and we want you to know you will always have a home at Rowan. To all graduating students, this is a big milestone and a natural time of reflection. Do not shy away from it. Embrace it. Reflect on where you came from and where you are going. One of my favorite quotes from Mark Twain fits this occasion very well. 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than by the ones you did do. So throw off the bow lines, sail away from the safe harbor, catch the trade winds in your sails, explore, dream, discover. I am very proud to present the first undergraduate biomedical engineering class.
Amber May Busher. Nicholas Mann. Hannah Bowers. Shanna Davidson. Theodore Markevich. Michael Bruce Kindler. William Purcell. Maxodul Maula. Thomas Meden. Thomas Carson. Rita Marino. Matthew Goldner. Nicholas Silva. Ashley Plunkett. Matt Fiore. Kit Tran. Joseph DiFrancesco. Anton Tetsensko. Julia Nicole Borghese. Caroline Page Smith. India Ervin Choi. Alyssa Brandley. Cindy Tu. Michelle Tu. Daniel Infusino. Samantha Glanville. Miguel Isaga. Kelsey DeFreitas. Biagio Uricoli. Zachary DeMattia. Isabel Angela Madursky. Amanda Burke. Daniel Belivo. Joseph DiStefano. Matthew DeSerbio. Chemical Engineering, Dr. Mariana Savelski, Department Head, please step forward to present your department.
Good morning. It gives us great pleasure to introduce the class of 2019 in the Chemical Engineering Department. Like every class, it's joyful to see you graduate. At the same time, it's kind of sad thinking you won't be there next year in the hallways in our classrooms. There's always that dichotomy between the happiness and the sadness to see you go. The faculty and I were very proud of what you have accomplished. You are a great group of human beings. I know you are embarking, whether in industry or in graduate studies, to do great things in your future. Just remember, all you learn from your faculty, facts do matter. Science does matter. In these difficult times we live, you are the next generation of leaders in this country to transform and to make our world a much better place. So, heavy load to lift, but we are confident that you are going to accomplish great things as you move on in your careers. So please come on up and be recognized. Thank you.
Alexis Veneer. Eric Baumhauer. Leah Filardi. Owen Stecca. John Boravillas.
Yeah, John! Watching those red cords.
Ryan Rutkowski. Brandon Lawrence.
Yes, Beacon!
Roisin Breen. Erica Spatafor. Andrew Warren. John Pletcher. Gregory Van Ameren. Don Dunner. Nicholas Lenzi. Daniel Torrey. Kayla Sweet. Emma Berkowitz. Diane Severino. Elizabeth Gutierrez. Jay Estat. Brian Mateus. Sabrina Abrenica. Evan Suter. Matthew Schwanger. Evan Holbein. James Daly. Tristan Baca. Aniris Nurja. Alexander Johnson. John Gier. Colin Fisher. Tyler Diorio. Alexis Horter. Alex Salvatore. Giuseppe Scanja. Scott Taylor Monroe. Justin Widener. Robert McClernand. Alexander Ivins. Tyler Gibson. Stephen Schwartz. Marcos Tercidis. Kyle Heckler. Eric Villarolo. Max Cerati. Connor Gavin. Mian Estrifi. Civil Engineering, Dr. Kauser Jahan, Department Head, please step forward to present your department.
Will the outstanding, dedicated civil and environmental engineering faculty join us at the end of the platform to congratulate the 2018 Civil and Environmental Engineering graduates. Just to set the record straight, soil and aggregate matter in the life of a civil and environmental engineer every day. Will the extremely resilient, high-stress bearing civil and environmental engineering class of 2018 graduates set to make the world a better place, please come to the platform to be recognized.
Bhumi Mevawala. Alexander Shalif. Samuel Rossfjord. Eric Johnson. Jonathan Grandy. Tyler Logar. Elizabeth Beatty. Kevin Bach. Tyler Graff. Christopher Young. Rebecca Martin. Taylor Zimmerman. Bradley Loth. Andreas Carciotis. Gerard Dvorak. Kevin Light. Robert Principato. Ryan Lee. Urel Clark. Luke Benotto. Kelly Fan. Stephanie Wakely. Jaeyeon Shen. Samuel Stein. Luke Butler. Brandon DeJesus. Nathan Leach. Tree Nguyen Tron. Leo Mount. Brian Himes. Tyler Graham. Nico Cilia. Brittany Gandolfo. Alec Pirai. Michael Conroy. Roy Arnold. Shane Christak. Jack Barker. Vincent DiGirolamo. Paul Entwistle. Joseph Pasquale Lentinsky. Stephen Spurn. Michael Paul Simeone. Anthony Feeney. Ryan Small. Tree Tam Nguyen. Stephen Scott Lupino. Brian Mayer. Sean Rayday. Daniel Leverick. Thomas Sedlak. Mark Vale. Thomas Taylor. Christopher Petrucci. John Elliott. Ryan Lindsay. Samuel Feldman. Michael Alfano. Kaylee A. McDevitt. Darren Weiss. Bridget Costello. Patricia Hurley. Ian McCain. Jacqueline Imino. Angelique Tucker. Brendan Brady. Matthew Ryan. Electrical and Computer Engineering, Dr. Roby Polakar, Department Head. Please step forward to present your department.
Good morning. It is my great privilege and pleasure to invite the, shall I say, the supremely smart, extremely hardworking, exceptionally good-looking, if I may add, infectiously geeky, and electrifyingly competent recipients of the degree of Bachelor of Science in Electrical and Computer Engineering to come to the platform and be recognized. Dedicated ECE faculty, please join me below the platform to congratulate and honor our graduates.
Lisbeth Hernandez. Zachary Blum. Zachary Allard. Singyan Ewan. Anmol Desai. Navjot Singh. Brandon Cepas. Aaron Yanello. Jessica Sesko. Benjamin Richard Muska. Christopher Angelini. Joseph J. Messner. Richard Gregel. Zachary Kummer. Jacob Colony. Tyler Harlow. Ramsey Habibi. Michael Liu. Robert Weld. Raymond Linden. Nicholas Natali. Michael Cameron. Nathan Lamb. Michael Moore. Kevin Trin. Gina Gizzy. Peter Awolumate. Matthew Carvin. Eric Tejeda. Joseph Ordilly. Matthew Stone. Jeffrey Nelson. Craig Bavenzi. Alexander Dillman. Michael Dawes. Chris Deach. Joshua Band. Stephen Portley. Brian Riverlo. Jeffrey Gilbert. Thomas Reese Gracie III. Brian Westervelt Jr. Christopher Green. John Clark. Jake Clementson. Kevin Mahon. Brianna Higgins. Catherine Purichev. Aaron Grudelli. Chase Brody. Tej Patel. Autumn Brown. Edward Yates. James Levici. Kevin Shannon. John Tepper. Eric Feuerstein. Graham Ullman. Matthew Brian Sambucci. Tyler Nice. Michael Pierce. Alexander Shipsky. Benjamin Thompson. Peyton Boyle. Gotcha. Mechanical Engineering, Dr. Jennifer Kedlowick, please step forward to present your department.
Good morning. It is with great honor and pleasure that I get to introduce the class of 2018. This is by far the largest class that we've had. There are 98 or more of you, which is the largest since this is the class that is larger actually than the entire College of Engineering graduating class in the early 2000s. So this class of 2018, you are a hardworking, amazing group of students, graduates who I know will go out and do wonderful things in the world. You will follow the mantra of design, build, test, analyze, and do wonderful things to make the world a wonderful place. The dedicated faculty will join me in honoring the class of 2018. Congratulations.
Spencer Case. Zachary Brown. Alexander Rusted. Joshua Weinberg. Michael Buratinsky. Zachary Miller. Alexis Japka. Nicholas DeGiorgio. Daniel Ashton Jr. Daniel Brenlinger. Mark Callow. Zachary Lyman. Justin Kerr. Jason Kaufman, Nicholas Calzaretti, Kurt Wagner, Matthew Malpica, Alexander Shepard, Kevin Veltri, John Strollo, Nicholas Nacco, Brandon Young, Alexander Kravelchev, Alexander Wildgoose, Steven Smirzinski, Christian Tolan, Michael Foy, Scott Melson, Alexander Nocera, Samuel Josephs, Michael Sala, Kevin K. Oda, Melody Tashian, Stephen McGowan, Brandon Timothy Graham, Jacob M. Ryan, Daniel Darty, Ashley Marie Blood, Corey Tickner, Matthew Bearcliffe, Matthew Beck, Alex Manofu, Lauren Stark, Brian Evan Jeremiah, Allison Gail Tingley, Matthew Dieterle, Kevin Medich, Brian Moore, Steve Machete, Anthony Costantini, Christopher Cadlick, Nathan Martini, Joseph Miller, Jeffrey O'Neill, Anthony John Roberts, Austin Ufredo, Richard Hayes, Peter Riccardi, David Moscow, Andrew Borchardt, Andrew Adams, Quasi Dolphin, Brandon Foltini, William Snyder, Kyle Steinmetz, Thomas Canillo Terrell, Brett Quack, Thomas Joseph Mulderig IV, Josh Boyle, David Hunt, Colin Westcott, Robert J. Whittle, Thomas D. Masalovich, Victoria Griffiths, Luke Gadrimas, Garrett Hoagland, Andrew Motto, Salvatore Catanzaro, Ryan Moran, Harrison Hones, James Lynch, Michael Cordano, Liam Lafferty, Matt Spissel, Dallin Eggert, Jan Lee, Mario DeSanto, Eric Yadvish, Ryan Kale I, Ishwaku Wara. Kyle Ilara. Niat Tan. Sam Richards. Sean O'Neill. Michael Zimmerman. Sean Movao. Christian Acuna. William Toomey. William Hune. Jake Zani. Eric Miller.
So you may have noticed that the pace picked up quite a bit during towards the end of the civil engineers, and it's because it's about to storm. So we want to get everyone out of here safely. So with that, I'm just going to say thank you. Graduates, you heard best of luck. You'll always be a part of us. We'll always be there for you. So we are going to skip the alma mater, and we're going to, even better, thank the rain. Best applause I got all day. So if the audience could just please stay in place until the stage party gets off, and then please go as you can. The shuttles to the parking lots will be available for those who need them behind the green, and golf carts will also be available in parking lot Y next to the baseball field or in front of Bull Hall. So with that, everyone get out of the rain safely.